Is ICE out of control? I'm Jim Drastic.
I'm Nick Knudsen.
And I'm Tiffany Drastic. And today on The Dangerous Ones, we are talking about quota country.
Oh, boy.
I know. There's a new article in the New York Times regarding the Trump administration's aggressive escalation of mass deportation efforts as part of a campaign promise to remove, quote, illegal aliens. Under Stephen Miller's direction, ICE is carrying out workplace raids, courthouse ambushes, and street-level sweeps using a new government-wide surveillance app.
Oh, God.
They're using an app.
They're using an app now.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
To locate people with deportation orders. Agents are working 7 days a week under crushing quotas. They want 3,000 people arrested a day.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
I know.
Yeah.
How many agents is that to arrest that many people?
Right.
With pressure coming from the White House to hit 1 million deportations this year. Like he said that in a meeting, Stephen Miller, to the people in the room. And the people in the room were like, this guy might be insane.
He might be a racist.
Maybe.
ICE is arresting what they are calling collateral migrants who were not originally targeted, and even pulling human trafficking investigators off their cases to meet quotas. The app, once dubbed ATRAK, or Alien Tracker, like they're fucking selling some sort of fucking car insurance.
Wow.
Pulls people's personal data from across the federal government to generate heat maps of migrant locations.
Wow.
Despite protests and legal limits, the administration is expanding operations in places like LA, with officials directing other federal agencies to assist ICE in circumventing court orders. Folks, this is not about public safety. This is about numbers and cruelty.
Absolutely. And this quota thing is crazy.
3,000 people a day?
I know. I mean, they're busting into garment districts. They're just going everywhere. And this heat map, it's like...
That's how you know it's been planned for a very long time. This is not... Do you know how long it takes to develop an app?
Oh, my God,
Not since the day he got in office. It takes a lot longer than that.
And weren't you saying the app was used for something prior to that?
Oh, my God. It was. I'm still working on that part. But listen to this.
Yeah.
To increase its reach, the tracker reportedly draws on data from multiple government agencies, including the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the U.S. Marshal Service, and the Social Security Administration. So I guess that's how we know why DOJ had to get all their hands on that info.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
And the plans for the tracker is to ultimately consolidate data from all interior agencies, including Housing and Labor Departments, the Human Services Department, and the IRS.
Wow.
So they're using it to round up migrants right now, but they're going to be getting in to round up other folks for other reasons in there.
Yeah.
Because wait until they find out, like, oh, food stamps cost too much money. Oh, they're going to find you with their little app and they're going to take your food stamps away.
Yeah.
Or they're going to take away your housing or your medical care or your Social Security. I mean, the overreach, the potential for that is terrible.
It's only going to get darker from here.
For sure. And think about quotas. I mean, just the idea of a quota. It's like, you get pulled over at the end of the month or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
For going like 36 and a 35
or
whatever. And that's what they're gonna they keep saying, like, oh, we have to get these like violent criminals and these gang members and deport them, but like that's not what's going to be happening if you're trying to round up 3,000 people a day. What's going to be happening is you're like going to and I saw this in a video on Blue Sky from United Farmworkers, where they're just like going into the fields.
Oh,
just
my
like
God.
running them down.
We're there now, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just something about just me as an American, something about quotas just gives you a sick feeling
There's
in your
a reason
stomach.
that it gives you a sick feeling, that it puts a bad taste in your mouth.
That's
It's
right.
just-
It
it's
feels
not-
wrong.
It is wrong.
Yeah.
It is wrong.
So the question is what do we do about it?
One of the first things we have to do is we have to stay awake through it. We cannot become
Love that.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Complicity is not an option in 2025, right? If it's bothering you what's happening to people, and it should, you need to cling to that. You need to cling to your humanity. You need to tend to it like a little bonsai tree, because they're trying to they're trying to engineer it out of you so that you're responding with indifference and
Lean into it.
Yes.
Okay.
Lean into it and don't look away, and don't let other people look away.
Yeah.
Nick, what else can we do?
So, yeah, I mean, maintaining your awareness is like critical to that. Not everybody's ready to go and like stand up to ICE agents in the streets or whatever, but like all of us doing what we can in a way that makes us maybe pushes us a little bit, but to sort of rally people behind the immigrant community and against these sort of like very authoritarian tactics. Say what you can say to the people that you're comfortable saying it to as like a first step.
Yeah.
Right. Say it in your safe spaces first. So like, don't avoid the topic. Push yourself to bring this up in every forum where you feel comfortable doing so, at least as a first step. You don't have to get out there and stand, and endure flashbang grenades.
Right. With a mic and pepper spray. You can just vocalize what's right.
Yeah. I would also say support the people who are already in the fight.
Yeah.
If you're not ready to lead, there's groups out there that are already making a difference. And if you can, donate monetarily. If you can't do that, offer rides, meals, anything you can to support the groups that are making a difference in this situation. Yeah. Because there are people out there, and we forget that sometimes. Sometimes we feel like we have to take it on ourselves,
right? Yeah.
But we don't. There are other groups out there that are organized, who already have their fingers in the community, and we should be supporting those groups.
For sure.
What else can we do?
Can I throw
please?
One? Yeah. Okay.
No.
So this one's near and dear to my heart. Pressure your politicians.
Yes.
Okay?
Love that.
Like, they work for us.
That's right.
And if you don't agree with this sort of Nazi Gestapo crap, then say it. Like, call your mayor. Call your congressperson. Call your senators. Email them. What in whatever way you feel comfortable communicating with them. Treat your local politicians as though they were federal politicians. I think a lot of times we're like, yeah, call your senator or your representative, but at the local level, sort of participation in and approval of local politicians is critical for ICE operations. So, like, yeah, tell your mayor, right? Like tell your state senator, your state representative.
I always forget about the state reps, the state senators. Yeah, I mean that's
city council people. Let them know how you feel about this and urge them not to participate or align with ICE in their raids.
Love that. Yeah. What else?
I would say, as a last thing, is just do not forget your humanity in all of this. Compassion is resistance. And when you see these things like being chased through the fields, ICE shows up to your court appearance, that's not right. That's not right. So part of your being an American is flexing that. And 2025 is the year where it's now our duty. If you see it and it's not right and you don't say anything and you don't participate, it's
a bit of shame on you.
Yeah,
if you know it's not right,
then it's your duty to say something we're all here.
And so when we see these people in LA protesting because they're seeing injustices about just ripping families. I mean, what happened in 2020 with ripping families and kids from their mothers and stuff like that in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, excuse me, was horrible. But now we're on a wider scale. Yeah. And it's funny because it's happening on such a big scale now that we're not even getting the smaller stories of the kids who are being affected by this and stuff, because we don't have time, because it's coming at us at an incredible rate.
And 3,000 people a day they want to round up and confine and deport. That's 3,000 families.
Right. Yeah.
That's 3,000 jobs and caretakers and people
it's just heartbreaking.
Friends. And it's heartbreaking. And you cannot forget how heartbreaking it is. You have to remember that. You have to hold on to it.
And we didn't really say this explicitly, but like spread those stories. Like they're because of the scale. Yeah. Maybe they're getting buried in the news about it, but these are families. These are people who've been in our communities for decades, many times.
Yeah.
And they're part of the fabric of our society.
Yeah.
And we need to have their backs. And part of that can be just like making sure that if those stories are posted, that we're spreading that content.
And to go back to the original question, is ICE out of control? And I think we would all agree that it's out of control.
And it's getting worse.
Yes.
And it's getting worse. We want to hear what you think. Call 503-212-4600. That's the People's Hotline. You can call 24/7, leave us a message, and you can remain anonymous. Folks, please like and subscribe this video. If you're listening to us right now, please leave us a 5-star review. If you'd like to support this show, you can do that by going to our Substack, by going to thedangerousones.com. That'll drive you over to our Substack. You can become a paid subscriber, and that would certainly help us out a lot. Thank you so much, and until next time.